angels, it's Hailey Reese, and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so beyond grateful that you are here, and I really do hope that you are having an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. If you're watching today's video in real time and you do celebrate, I'd like to take a moment to wish you a very Merry Christmas Eve. I hope that you spend it safe and warm and with those that you love, or at the very least doing what you love. And if what you're doing this Christmas Eve is spending it here with me, I am truly so honored, and just know that I am so beyond grateful for you. If you've been watching my channel for a little while, especially as of recently, it's no secret that there is something massive going on right now and even bigger about to happen. If you've been looking up in the skies, perhaps you've seen what everyone's been reporting. But if you've been on social media recently, I'm sure you're aware that tonight on Christmas Eve, it's not just Santa to watch for up in the sky. Seems like there's a lot more going on up there tonight, and today we're going to dive into an absolutely bone-chilling encounter that's happened as of late and perhaps could fall into these drone sightings category. With that being said though, the individual who experienced it claims they believe what they saw was 100% alien activity and that they had an experience with a UFO. Now, I know there's going to be so many of you asking my opinions on everything going on, especially up in the sky, and believe me when I say I have been on it, I have been researching, and I'll be leaving no stone unturned. So if you enjoy videos like this and you want to dig even deeper as to what's going on in our world, allow me to do so for you, and we can dig deeper together in some wild upcoming videos. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe, as I am uploading a new video every single day right now. With all of that out of the way, as I mentioned, today's video is a bone-chilling encounter, and the individual involved believes perhaps it's UFO activity. So with all of that being said, I want to leave you with a couple of questions I'd love to know the answers to. What do you think of this experience when all is said and done? Do you believe in UFOs and aliens and life beyond our planet? And if so, what are your thoughts on everything going on? But with all of that out of the way, I really do hope that you guys enjoy tonight's Christmas Eve episode. Sit back, relax, maybe turn a light on, because if you don't, the light you see may be coming from the sky outside. And so it begins. I've always been a skeptic when it comes to UFOs and aliens. To me, those stories were always about people who were either confused, delusional, or just looking for attention. I'd never really given it much thought until recently, when my perspective changed completely. I know we're all talking about these drones and UFOs, so I thought I'd tell everyone what's happened to me. Recently, it was late, around just after midnight, and I've been driving home from a friend's, taking the back roads through a dense forest that lined the outskirts of my small town. The air was cold, and I really just wanted to get home. I was about 5 miles from home when it happened. There was this sudden, sharp shift in the atmosphere. One moment, the night felt normal, and the next, it felt different. The air became unnaturally still, and what I can only explain as a kind of pressure seemed to settle over the car. I remember feeling this prickling sensation on the back of my neck, like static is the only way that I could describe having felt something like that before, other than being watched. I dismissed it though and kept driving until I unmistakably saw it. It was a faint light in the sky. At first, I thought it was a plane, maybe a small private jet, but the light moved in a way that made no sense. It darted across the sky, too fast, too erratic, and then it stopped, completely, hovering, in a way no aircraft should be able to do. And it was massive, truck size. I slowed the car down and pulled over to the side of the road. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just knew at that moment I couldn't keep driving. The light seemed to grow brighter and larger, as if it was getting closer, but not in a way that an aircraft would approach. It felt deliberate. Like it was coming toward me, but at a speed I couldn't gauge. I sat there frozen for what felt like an eternity, just staring and looking at it. Looking back now, I don't even know if I could have moved if I'd have tried to. The light was hovering above the trees, and I could make out strange patterns swirling within it, shifting shapes, almost like liquid, too complex to describe. Maybe like a portal? Hell, I don't even know what those look like, but looking like this, I mean, it had to be close. And then it just shot into the distance at an impossible speed, leaving the sky completely dark again. I should have just driven away, but for whatever reason, something was pulling me to the spot. My hands were shaking, but I turned the engine back on and pulled forward. I drove slowly, scanning the forest on both sides of the road. There was a kind of unnatural quiet now. No insects, no rustling leaves, no animals, just the sound of my tires on the asphalt and the occasional gust of wind. I was about to keep driving when something caught my attention again. Out of the corner of my eye, just past the tree line, I caught movement. It was quick, too quick for my brain to even process almost. At first, I thought animal for sure, but there was something about the way it moved that unsettled me. It wasn't the way any animal I had ever seen moved. Basically, it seemed to move in a way that defied the usual rules of physics. I know this sounds crazy, and the amount of details probably make it seem made up, but there were flashes of a pale, almost translucent skin in between the trees. I couldn't make any details out, but I could see a figure that looked tall and thin, unlike anything I'd ever seen. My senses became aware of this sound, this low, vibrating, almost like a hum. I looked up and saw another light going by as I noticed the radio on my car going crazy. I don't know why I did half the shit I did, but I slammed on the brakes. My heart was pounding in my chest as I tried to make sense of what I'd been seeing. I stared into the trees, straining my eyes, but now there was nothing there but shadows. I still felt that prickle on the back of my neck. I told myself out loud that it was just in my mind because it was late and too quiet out there, but deep down I knew that wasn't true. Something was unnatural. I kept driving, my foot heavy on the gas pedal, but the feeling didn't leave. In fact, it grew worse. I felt like I was being followed. Every time I glanced in the rearview mirror, though, there was nothing. And then, just as quickly as it all had started, it stopped. And the silence, once again, was deafening. I don't even know how much time passed after that. I just kept driving, faster now, until I reached the turn that would take me back into town. When I finally pulled up to my house, I sat in the car for a few minutes, fully expecting to see more, but it was like nothing happened. The sky was back to usual. I've tried to convince myself that I was crazy until recently all the reports started coming. Seems I wasn't the only one seeing these massive unnatural objects in the sky. Also not the only one affected by them. And now that I know no one knows what those drones are, all I can hear repeating in my mind is that hum, and all I can see is that forest replaying, how big it was above my head, how little and insignificant I felt. And since that night, strange things have still happened. Late at night, I've woken up, except feeling completely paralyzed in bed and hearing that same hum. The next day, I would find out there were sightings reported once again in my area. What the hell is happening, and why is no one more alarmed? How can they not know what these things are? It's completely messed with my car and my mind, but now I'm more scared about how I felt it mess with the air and my perception. What could mass amounts of them do? And why is our government not speaking up? And that's the end of the experience. So many people have been having these experiences of sightings in the sky. Looking back, right, it's not uncommon for people to have these types of experiences. I mean, look how far back UFO and alien sightings date. This isn't a new concept to us, but the frequency in which it's been happening and the consistency of it, along with the footage that people have been capturing, this is unlike anything that we've ever seen on a global scale. Now, I have so many theories surrounding this and so many rabbit holes that I've went down. But for the sake of today's video and for making that next video even better, I want to leave you with this thought. To me personally, I have always known that there had to be more than just us. You look at the fact that we're such a tiny planet in comparison, floating around this galaxy, and look how much life exists here. I felt my whole life it'd be foolish to believe that we're the only things in the entire galaxy. But what I do find interesting is the approach at which this is being released to us and laid out to us. It's very familiar to things that have been shared for decades back. So I want to ask you guys, in that upcoming video that I'll be filming, what is it you want me to specifically dig into and cover? How deep do we want to go? What theories do you want me to explore? And what do you think? I want to know all of that down below, which is why I prefaced with today's video. It's really interesting to think about where we're going to be at the end of 2025 and how much more we're going to have been shown. But I want to know all of that down below from you guys, and that is today's alien, drone, UFO, whatever you want to call it, experience. I really, really do hope that you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed digging into it. If you are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you enjoy my content, I truly would appreciate it more than you'd ever know if you go ahead and click that subscribe button. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until tomorrow, I love you. Bye, guys.